Let's talk about breathing. Um, it is something that I like to talk about because what I notice is that sometimes when people are strength training, they hold their breath. So let's have this conversation about when it's good to breathe when you're strength training. Now, if you take yoga, you're probably familiar with the instructor cueing a lot of breathing in yoga. I do that. In Pilates, we cue, there's certain exercises where you cue the breath, certain exercises where we just say breathe naturally. It's very specific in Pilates. And if you're a runner or a rower or a elliptical person or treadmill person, you probably have a sense of when you breathe and how you're breathing and when you're inhaling, when you're exhaling, when you're uh, at a higher rate of breathing because of the workout that you're doing, the cardio. But when it comes to strength training, I often see that people unconsciously hold their breath, and maybe they specifically do that on the harder part of the move. And what I strongly recommend is that if you're going to, let me see if we can get some arms in this video. If I'm going to do a bicep curl, I'm going to do a bicep curl. Um, I am going to exhale on what is the harder part of the move for me, which is lifting that weight up to my shoulder. So that's when I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to inhale on the eccentric part of the move when I'm lengthening, right? Concentric part of the move, eccentric part of the move. So that is what I've trained myself to do. And I don't really have to think about it much now because I've been doing it for so long. But if you're new to strength training, think about it a little bit. And you do want to exhale on what you perceive as the harder part of the move. So we take a push-up as an example. For somebody, the harder part of the move could be the lowering down. For somebody else, the pushing away would be the harder part of the move. So it's individual what the harder part of the move is for you, and that's when you want to exhale. I had a client this week. Part of why I'm really on this topic is because I had a client this week who ran into some trouble because she was holding her breath so much, and she ended up kind of annoying her vagus nerve and getting indigestion because of it. I mean, she thinks that that's what happened because of it. So I like to talk about breathing for that reason when you're strength training. Another reason I like to talk about breathing is that you're going to breathe when you sleep, breathe, right? So we can breathe voluntarily, we're going to breathe, or involuntarily, we're going to breathe. But we also can manage our breath, right? And so in yoga, we call it pranayama, which really means breath control. And so, why would I want to manage my breath? Well, obviously, if I'm running or doing something that requires a lot of effort, I want to manage my breath so that I'm getting enough oxygen in to support the activity. Um, but I also like to manage my breath to help my nervous system. So I happen to be packing to move, which is a high stress activity. And I'm finding that I'm managing to stay fairly calm throughout it because I am breathing deeply and encouraging myself to relax and stay um, stay sort of present in my body, so I don't just get into flight or fight mode and get all stressed out, which I have done in the past. So far, this move has been fairly calm because I am using my breath to remain calm. And I specifically recommend, and sometimes for me, if I can't quite fall asleep quickly at night, we'll do this specifically. If I inhale, let's say a count of 4 or so, but I exhale a count of 6, and then exhale a count of 8, and lengthen the exhale, that is very calming to the nervous system. So if you're kind of high energy for whatever reason and want to calm down, if you lengthen your exhale, it's super calming to the nervous system. So those are my thoughts on breathing. Some quick thoughts on breathing. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. And please do breathe when you're strength training and everything else that you're doing. Be conscious of when you might be holding your breath, and then invite that breath back in and functioning. And you'll feel better. And another thought while we're talking, the thing with strength training with the breath is that if you really are conscious of using your breath, you're gonna control the motion more specifically. You're gonna have the breath as the rhythm of the motion more specifically, and that can be really helpful in having kind of a smooth, nice, fluid strength training. Again, let me know if you have questions, and look forward to connecting.